Not only do you get to see real examples of the child's life, you get to listen to the children telling their story in their own words.
My neighborhood is one of the poorest in our village.
Businesses like the food truck that Jessica Calvert runs at Stennis Space Center are also being affected. Calvert says that 60% of the government work at Stennis has been stopped, so only 40% of employees are working. So when she opens the food truck every week, the customers who pay are only covering the cost of supply and labor. She's really not making a profit out there anymore. One lesson the responders will learn is how to identify signs posted along the railroad, signs you might not notice, like this blue one here that shows who to report a problem or an emergency to. I work with WLOX News, and I'm wondering if you can tell me how much you and your friends cost per pound this season. Also, what determines your price and what makes you so special that you cost what you do? Hello? Hello? And so your evening drive on Highway 90, looking at the water, looking at the sunset, can be really nice up until you get to Ocean Springs when you're faced with rush hour traffic like this. And Mayor Shea Dobson says he knows how bad it can be from driving in it himself, and he's trying to make all that change, and he's even trying to maybe widen this to a 6-lane highway all the way down.
I've had people tell me that they flat out will avoid Ocean Springs during the high traffic times, and I don't want that. So
Highway 90 congestion in Ocean Springs is getting so bad that Mayor Shea Dobson is asking anyone running for governor or lieutenant governor to pledge prioritizing widening the highway. One candidate, Jay Hughes, jumped in the comments on Facebook and said that he will, saying that he spends a lot of time on the coast and he gets the problem that people are having. Other citizens chimed in to say they agree too, and one person even pointed out the traffic lights in a section of the highway are not programmed correctly, which just adds to the issue. But not everyone agrees that widening the street will solve the problem.
And it seems like the more that you widen roads, the more that there are accidents, as well as the construction causes so much delay.
Marie Garbin runs a small business on Highway 90, and from her experience on East Coast highways, she thinks adding additional lanes will only create a bigger traffic nightmare.
Once construction is done, in my experience, it seems like there's even more people thinking that they can switch lanes and actually drive faster because it's a 3-lane road that they're trying to get across now.
A few years ago, MDOT made plans to widen the highway, but had to set those plans aside due to budget issues. Regardless of what does or doesn't happen, the mayor doesn't see the issue going away anytime soon.
this is a very important highway for Ocean Springs, and so it's just frustrating that it's not getting the attention that I think it deserves.
Firefighters are confident they will finally put out a wildfire that's been burning for 3 days.
This is going to be a very slow process.
After weighing all of the options, they decided that backburning would be the best way. The way the backburn works is pretty simple. So all this area that's been turned to ash, the backburn has eaten it up. So once it moves further into the wooded area, it's going to join the main fire that's been burning for 3 days. And once those two fires join and there's nothing left to fuel the flames, they're going to cancel each other out. The direction the wind is blowing will help to push the backburn deeper into the forest, and the timing couldn't be better.
Because tomorrow the wind is not going to be in our favor.
The backburn line sits directly behind the Shady Acres RV park. People living there say they were shocked to see the flames that close to their homes.
Well, the first time I've ever seen it in my life, here, been 15 years.
Firefighters said there was no need to make people leave the park, just for them to keep an eye on the ember.
They told me to hold my area down, put water on top of my trailer, all that nature, and keep everything moist and wet so fire, if it does come.
The county jail is in the line of fire too. Sheriff Ricky Adams says he has been doing his part all weekend to keep the flames at bay.
We've had our inmates going around the fence, cutting all the debris back away from the fence. So
now firefighters have to wait it out until the smoke clears.
It's going to be a while before it's eventually all the way out.
Well, 20 years is the maximum sentence for manslaughter in the state, and Judge Lawrence Bourgeois said that it gave him no satisfaction to deliver that sentence.
Am I satisfied? I'm just glad she's behind bars.
Ryan Heyer says that justice for his daughter Cheyenne was served, but no prison sentence could ever atone her death.
I can't change what happened.
Heyer spoke in front of the courtroom before Cassie Barker, his ex-girlfriend and mother of his daughter, was sentenced for the child's hot car death nearly 3 years ago, saying that he had a hard time processing her preventable death, asking the judge to consider the maximum penalty, despite Barker's lawyer asking to deviate from the 20-year sentence. Barker was given a chance to address the judge. She tried to hold back tears as she said the only person she owes an apology to is her daughter, and that she raised Cheyenne alone and regrets her death.
I was starting to get mad when I started hearing some of those things.
Heyer says Barker was just trying to make people feel sorry for her.
I took care of Cheyenne, from daycares to picking her up to feeding her to dressing her.
After hearing from both sides, Judge Lawrence Bourgeois spoke directly to Cassie, just as he did for her plea hearing. The judge says his heart goes out to both parents, and to Cheyenne especially, telling Barker that as a police officer, her job was to protect and to serve, but that she failed in that responsibility. He firmly told Cassie, quote, "You left your own flesh and blood in that car while you were in an air-conditioned house to have sexual relations." While Cassie Barker spends the next 2 decades behind bars, Heyer says he is dedicating his time to preventing other parents from experiencing his pain.
People need to check 2-3 times, Make sure you didn't leave them in the house. Make sure you didn't leave them in the car.
Ryan Heyer has lawsuits filed against Long Beach Police Department and the State Child Protective Services for negligence and dereliction of duty in relation to his daughter's death. He says that now that Cassie Barker has been convicted, those 2 lawsuits can move forward. Police have a perimeter set up right there. That's Klondike Road, and further back there is Beatline. So they have that perimeter set up. Right now they're searching for a suspect involved in an RV chase. The chase began at Camping World in Biloxi. Biloxi police arrested 2 suspects there. The chase somehow ended up here around 8 o'clock in Long Beach on around 28th Street, where one of the suspects got out of the chase and ran away into the wooded areas behind me. So that's why they have this perimeter set up, because right now they're looking for one of the suspects. So people who live in houses nearby have been told to stay inside, to lock their doors, and to not come outside while police are working on this investigation as it's ongoing. All right, so we're a little over a month away from the big Biloxi Spring Break weekend, but hotels have booked up fast. Now I'll be showing you which hotels may still have some rooms available and what may be in store for event goers in April. Bank of America and Target are just 2 of the most recent companies to announce their intent to raise their employees' minimum wage. And new research is showing that nearly 75% of people in Mississippi also are wanting to get in on a raise on the state's minimum wage too. According to a statewide survey done by Millsaps College and Chisholm Strategies, 72% of people in the state are supporting raising the minimum wage, while 24% do not. And even though it seems like a lot of people support raising the state's minimum wage, which has been sitting at $7.25 for the last decade since 2009, there is some division on just how much the minimum wage should be raised. So of that 72% of people from the survey who say, yeah, let's go ahead and raise the minimum wage, 19% are saying, let's shoot for $15 an hour. 36% say they would rather see it at $10 an hour, and 17% think it should rest somewhere in the middle at $12.50. So 24% of those people are saying no increase, and the other 4% in the survey are saying they're just unsure of what should happen. And there may be a number of reasons why these companies and employers are seeking to pay their employees a little bit more. According to the Department of Labor, unemployment in the U.S. is at one of the lowest rates it's been in decades at 3.8%, making it crucial for these jobs to not only attract but to also retain their workers, which may explain why these companies are looking at hiking the base level pay in a tight labor market. Over the next 2 years, Bank of America says it's going to raise its employees' minimum wage to $20 an hour. Starting on May 1st, employees will be getting paid $17 an hour, according to the bank. And Target also said it's going to raise its minimum wage to $13 an hour starting in June, gradually getting it up to $15 an hour for their base level pay for their employees. And they're not the only ones who are doing so. So Chase, Walmart, and Amazon have all announced their intention to raise their minimum wage, or they've already raised their minimum wage. So I want to know what you think. I know we don't have any Bank of America branches in Mississippi, but we have a lot of Walmarts and Targets. So do you think that raising the minimum wage in the state is a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Yes, no? Tell me what you think in the comment section below, and let's have a discussion.